Boston's preliminary election for mayor and city council will take place on Tuesday, September 26th. There will be 3 open seats on the council, one of them being vacated by Deeqo Jackson, who currently represents District 7. That district includes most of Roxbury and parts of Dorchester, the South End, and the Fenway. Among those hoping to be the new councilor in District 7 is our guest, Deeqo Jibril. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, you have a very interesting background in many different areas, everything from community activist to mother of children in the school system, and even business development.
Yes, I do.
Talk about that.
So my name is Deeqo Jibril. I am a candidate for Boston City Council, District 7. I am Somali American. I came here when I was 12 years old. My family and I were among the lucky Somalis that escaped the Civil War. And prior to coming to Boston, we stayed in refugee camp for 3 months. So my mom and I, my brother, my older brother, had the chance to come to Boston in 1991. Since 1991, I was in Roxbury. I stayed in Roxbury, and I grew up in this community. And today, I am a community organizer, single mother of 4 children, the founder of the African Mall in Roxbury. And I have seen Boston go through many changes, and I represent that change. And, growing up in Roxbury, going to Boston public schools myself when I first came to America, I did not know a word of English. I went to English high school, and my children are attending all public schools today. I have 3 girls and a boy, and I have seen the community go through many changes. And as a woman who got married early age, and my marriage didn't work, I had abusive marriage where I was trying to get help from it, and I didn't. So I organized forum for moms to feel comfortable and just focus group just to support one another. And from there, it led to Somali Community and Cultural Associations. And prior of starting Somali Community and Cultural Associations, I worked at ABCD Housing Department, where I was helping families in Boston understand and obtain affordable housing. And after ABCD, I went to Children's Services of Roxbury, where I helped again navigate the housing affordability in Roxbury. I helped tons of families find affordable housing and advocate for them when they didn't get affordable housing, with the appealing process and the court process. And I left Children's Service of Roxbury to run my nonprofit called Somali Community and Cultural Associations. And while I was doing that, I realized the community, this district has the fastest growing immigrants, and sometimes they're not civically engaged. So I partnered up with Mass Vote just to get the community out, register them to vote, and understand what is the voting education. Where we come from, we don't have democracy. And now you're an American citizen and you have the ability to vote. So what's next? So my work have been around educating the community about the civic engagement, the voting process. And that kind of inspired me. And one thing led to another. So I went to the Commonwealth Seminar first, and from there I went to a program called A We Stay that trains minorities to run for office. From there I went to Emerge. Again, they train women to run for office. And I was doing that, the word got out that this woman knows how to mobilize her community. I mean, my work through Mass Vote, we registered over 1,500 Somali Americans in Roxbury.
You're a success story, but somewhere going back, there was a point where things were almost derailed and your education was interrupted and you had to rely on public assistance. What did you learn from that?
I learned perseverance and never give up. When my family were in the refugee camp, people that did not look like us, like when I went to Nairobi, my family and I, we did not know a word of English. We didn't speak Swahili. Those were the 2 languages spoken by Kenya. And Catholic nuns and people who work at UN came to us. And since then, I knew this is what I want to do. I want to be a public servant. I want to give back same way these people are giving it back to us. They give us food and shelter and safety. And coming here, navigating the system as a young woman, I learned the hard work and perseverance and resilience.
Well, just about everybody running in District 7 is concerned about the cost of housing, especially in Roxbury. And one of the ideas that's been floated to do something about this is the no fault eviction measure before the City Council. Should that be adopted? Would you like to see that adopted as is?
I worked over a decade as a housing specialist. I have seen families get evicted in the district of fault of they're not. Some family were paying more than 50% and they didn't have the income to do so, and they were evicted. Some of them was none of their fault. So as a city council and as a single mom, I live in affordable complex now. And as a city council, I will champion the district to get more affordable housing. Any developer that wants to come to the district, they need to pay 30%.
This is BNN News. We're talking with Deeqo Jibril, a candidate for City Council in District 7. Deeqo, I want to come back to the experience that you've had with your children in the Boston Public Schools, because in your campaign site, you say you want to see the schools be more inclusive and I guess work more effectively, especially with immigrant students. What would you like to see exactly?
So I went to Boston Public School as a former refugee who have been traumatized. I lost a family member in the Civil War. I came here and my education was interrupted due to this refugee camp. And when I came here, I was placed at English High School, where the trainings and the understandings of cultural competency was not there. Boston had the first wave of Somali American early 90s and did not know what to do with it. I want to see going forward, the city has done great stuff, but I do want to see our schools to be more inclusive. 31% of Boston Public School students are students of immigrant. They are learning English as their second language, like I did. So we want to see our schools to be more inclusive. I want to see teachers get culturally competent training, and I want to diversify the teachers. We need to represent our students. For example, Somali language is the 8th spoken language at Boston Public Schools. We have over 15 languages, and it's time that we represent our students.
What about having a sanctuary school system where we're already considered by the federal government, at least, as a sanctuary city? Is there anything more to sanctuary schools besides symbolism?
I am proud of my city. I mean, we lead in the nation on sanctuary city, but I do want to see immigrants. I do want to see schools that are more welcome, like when the Muslim ban came in, and Somalia is one of the countries, and a lot of people were scared to even send their kids to school. So we want to provide training to school that immigration is sensitive, and what to do in case immigration officers come to our school.
And of course, I imagine that there's been all this sort of cyber bullying that came out after the new president took office too. And I guess some of that reflects what must be going on in the schools.
Yeah, personally, it reflects my children. They are the first Somali American that were born in Boston. And at school, they've been told to go back to Somalia. Where are they going back? I had them at Brigham and Women. Shall I send them back to Brigham and Women? So we need more, dialogue around the bullying, and also train our teachers.
Your daughter was taunted for wearing a hijab. Talk about how you handled that.
So at the beginning, as a community organizer, I didn't know how to handle it. I was shocked to see it. I said it cannot happen in Roxbury, where my kids are bullied in the park because of they wearing hijab, and it was frustrated as a mother. But what I did was I talked to other Americans. I didn't know that the police were there to protect us. As a result of that incident, I created inroads with Boston Police Department, where I said, look, this community is a vulnerable community. They get hate crimes, but they don't know how to report it. Can you provide us civil rights? What are our rights as a Muslim American? So I created the first Muslim and police dialogue in the country. And had not been my daughter's incident, we wouldn't do this, dialogue and community built with law enforcement.
One other thing that I'm sure the candidates are talking about in this race is making sure that Boston residents, people of color and women, get their fair share of jobs in some of these major developments. Anything new that you would like to see around that?
I do want to increase the, we can't move the city forward unless we do economic justice. As a single mother, woman, I understand the average income is not enough to sustain, it's not livable. So as a city council, I want to increase that. And also as a woman who came to this country with nothing and created 6 local businesses without the city resources, we want to push that forward and, give more resources to the people that started local businesses. And also, when you said communities of colors, are immigrant included? One of the reasons I'm running is perspective is a valuable tool in leadership. Is our perspective at the table?
We should finally mention that you have a website, some more things that people can find out about you. So
Yes,
how can people-
I have a website. It's deeqojibril.com, www.deeqojibril.com. I also have my pamphlet where my four platform would be economic justice, affordable housing, inclusive schools, and public safety. And you can go to my website. And I have Facebook and Twitter as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Deeqo Jibril, candidate
you.
for Boston City Council in District 7. We'll have more news in just a moment.